So yesterday, we talked about narrative review, how to write narrative review, and we discussed what narrative review is. Yesterday, I also explained. Let me just say, I explained narrative review. I, I define narrative review as a broad broad research. Yeah, let me put it like that, like a broad research where we are free or there are flexible rules where we can write as much as possible on every scope or any outline we know on that particular topic. So we chose herbal medicine, a narrative review as our research topic yesterday, and we can actually see that we can write as much as possible. Another thing, when we started the review yesterday, one of the major difference I made mention of is that when you are writing a review, the word count is more than a commentary type of paper. So that's why the word count is more than a commentary type of paper. So you are expected to write at least 4,000 to 5,000 words when you are writing review, but you are expected to write like 2,000 to 5 to 3,000 words when you are writing commentary research paper. And um we discussed about narrative review, and we reviewed some of the research paper that have been published in the public databases. So we reviewed some of them. Then we actually see how narrative review come into play. So today, we will be concluding our commentary research paper, because actually that we were actually supposed to conclude it before we move on to review type of paper. So we'll be concluding that. So now let me just ask a question, because honestly I expect everyone now to understand every nook and corner or everything about research paper, sorry, about commentary research paper. So who can tell me what is the outline of commentary research paper? Can someone unmute their mic, please?
So the outline as a commentary
Yeah,
research paper.
how to write a commentary research paper.
Well, to write a commentary research paper, you have to write the the abstract at first. Then
Okay.
okay, is it abstract, then the introduction, then the body and the reference.
So we have the body, then we have the reference. Okay. So yeah, that's actually what we were supposed to do. And sorry, after the body, we are supposed to write conclusion before the reference. Okay. So we've discussed how to write abstract, we've discussed how to write introduction, and we also discussed how to write body. So today we'll be discussing how to write conclusion, and we've discussed how to write reference sometimes ago. So I just want to finish commentary research paper so we know we are done with that. So we can start our commentary research projects, and then we can move on to other type of research papers such as review. I know under review we have four type of review. We have the narrative review, we have the scoping analysis. We have scoping review. We have the systematic analysis. We also have the systematic review. We also have the meta analysis. So we've done one out of the type of review that we have. So we have three left. We were actually supposed to start scoping review today, but I want to be done with commentary research paper. So we'll be treating conclusion today. So the class today will be super short, and that's why I said I should start by 9:15. So in 45 minutes time, probably before 10 p.m. We should be rounding up. So today's class is kind of very easy, because honestly, when you've written a good abstract introduction body, it will be very very easy. Okay, so sorry for the interruption. Okay. So when you've written a good abstract introduction body, it should not be hard to write the conclusion. It is very, very easy to write the conclusion. And you also you've written a good reference. So yeah, let's just start. So who can suggest any research topic we should work on? I have various research topic here. Let's just see. How's this one? What's the name of this topic? Okay, I think I've written on this one. So let me change this one. Okay, I think I was writing something yesterday. Okay. Um, what am I supposed to do? So I'm looking for this topic. Um, okay, okay. So these are one of the topic we checked yesterday. So announcing about medicine and nanotechnology for Nigeria next medical breakthrough. So we know that basically it's just like I think she wrote something about we using nanotechnology to standardize herbal medicine in Nigeria. So let's try to develop some interesting. The first thing we want to write about will be our abstract. So let me just copy it here. So what is expected in our abstract? Abstract is majorly everything we want to write about. We want to yes, everything we want to discuss, like the overview of everything we'll be discussing in this research paper is what we'll be writing in this abstract. So that's what we are supposed to write there. In this case, you want to write something like um, what you aim to achieve, stuff like that. Sha. So I think I've discussed how to write abstract. So we also have introduction. You have to introduce us, give us a brief background about what herbal medicine is, what nanotechnology is, what why are we writing this research paper, why is this research gap, why does it need to be filled, all those stuff. What's the significance, what's the procedure of carrying out this research, what's the aim and what's the goals of this research paper, stuff like that. Yeah, we want to write it in your introduction. Also, under our body, because it is flexible, you are not really boxed that, okay, write a method, write discussion, write your results. So in this case, you can write on different body, but you have to tailor it down to your um to your to your topic, to your research topic. So in this body, you can write something like maybe you can start with maybe harnessing herbal medicine and nanotechnology for Nigeria next medical breakthrough. So you can just start something like right. Mhm. Maybe causes, or let's start with implication of herbal medicine. let me say implication, yeah, of herbal medicine. Yeah, let's say implication of herbal medicine, and then let's say challenges. Okay, my mind is not up. Okay, so you can also write challenges of herbal medicine. Then maybe then you can just say the future of herbal medicine. So majorly, this is what you'll be right. You've discussed your abstract, you've discussed your introduction, you've discussed your body. But under this body, this will be your 1.0. Like this will be your first point you want to be raising, which is implication of herbal medicine. What are the implications of herbal medicine? I think this and also you want to discuss about the challenges of herbal medicine. I think this is where you will discuss. Okay, even though herbal medicine is so good, but there are those, I think, dosage regulation problem. So the next thing where you want to recommend, maybe the recommendation or the future of herbal medicine. This is where you will introduce your nanotechnology. That okay, you've explored many, what do we call it? We've explored many alternative or how to regulate herbal medicine, and one thing we find we find we find useful for development of dosage regulation in herbal medicine within nanotechnology. So you want to develop your point like that. You may not necessarily write the future of herbal medicine. You may just say recommendation. So the recommendation and the future of your herbal medicine would be the novelty you are adding to that particular research paper. Because I do tell you that commentary, even though you are reviewing a lot of other manuscripts, you are not just writing for fun, you are trying to answer a research problem. So in that case, you want to answer why should we why do you think okay, herbal medicine has a problem? The problem is dosage regulation. So how can we control this? Which is what you are adding. What you are adding is that okay, the implementation of nanotechnology can revolutionize the herbal medicine space or herbal medicine field. So that's your own novelty, and which is one thing you will be writing here. So we have like three three subtopic to write on. So after then you can just when you are done with your body, you can just start your conclusion. um can start your conclusion. So we want to look at how do we write our conclusion. That's what we want to look at today. So we've discussed the abstract. You already know everything. You've written almost everything, and you are left with conclusion. So from the word conclusion, it's just like you are concluding about everything you've said. You are trying to summarize all the points you said in just in a paragraph or two. So let's try to summarize this thing. What are we trying to do again? If you look at this topic, if you look at that topic, you could see enhancing herbal medicine and nanotechnology for Nigeria next medical breakthrough. So okay, let's look at it. So we can just start like this. Harnessing, um, I don't know, how can I start? Harnessing herbal medicine. Mm, okay, we can just start like this. Let's say the implementation. So basically, what I want to write here is that we've discussed all the recommendation, and among the recommendation we discussed is just the use of nanotechnology to regulate dosage. Majorly, let's say we just have only one recommendation, and normally when we are trying to add novelty to a paper or research gap or a research problem, you try to add one, two, or three recommendation. So in this case, we just want to say let's say one, because obviously I'm just trying to write off the top of my and yeah. So let's just look at this. Sorry. So let's say the implementation of nanotechnology. We can start like this. Okay, let me start like this. Sorry, I'm trying to find that linking words. So if I should get that linking word, I will be able to write it very fast. Okay, the implementation. Just continue. And the potential. Um, Drastically reducing the prominence. Let's say the implementation of nanotechnology. Implementation of nanotechnology has the potential of drastically reducing the prominence of dosage regulation problem in herbal medicine. So you can just say something like by bridging, yeah, that's a good word. By bridging um let's say something like traditional or conventional. Yeah. Traditional, yeah, let me just say traditional therapeutic knowledge approach, sorry, with modern precision. And those are something like urban medicine can be stabilized, like no, can be regulated. That would be can be regulated. Dosage, sorry, urban medicine dosage can be regulated to dispense accurate um to dispense accurate what can I call this? When I call it liquid. Optimate to dispense accurate. Let me put comma optimized therapeutic uh, instead of therapeutic, optimized pharmacological action. So majorly, I'm just trying to go down the lane. I know that the because one thing I want to write about is just nanotechnology. So let me maybe I should walk you through so you can see how I'm writing it. So the I know nanotechnology. Normally we all know what agbo is, especially if you are Yoruba. We all know what agbo is. Agbo is herbal medicine, which are the natural remedies that we wait. Am I still in the class? Hello guys. Sorry. Okay. I think you can hear me now. I don't know I left the call already. Okay. So one thing I said I want to walk you through my thought process so you can actually see how I'm writing the conclusion. So one thing we are trying to discuss here is about the herbal medicine. And I was saying that if you are Yoruba, you already know what Agbo is. Agbo is more like natural remedies, or if you are not a Yoruba person, you know natural remedies, all these herbs. Yeah, that's what we call agro. That's what we call herbal medicine. So in this case, we want to use nanotechnology. That's like futuristic therapeutic approach to regulate the dosage of herbal medicine. So I already know that my recommendation or something I'm bringing to the table, or my novelty, my novelty I'm adding to that comment research paper is the implementation of nanotechnology, and which is why I started with the implementation of nanotechnology has the potential of drastically reduce the prominence of dosage regulation problem in herbal medicine. A lot of people are not using herbal medicine because it is not regulated. There is no dosage for each for the herbal medicine. Some people say take a cup of this one. Some people say take like 2 cup of this one, which is not accurate enough. So we want to use nanotechnology to correct that mistake. So we now this nanotechnology, it's like a futuristic therapeutic approach, and that's why I say by bridging the traditional therapeutic approach with this sentence or with this phrase, I mean the herbal medicine, the conventional therapeutic approach with modern precision, which is referring to nanotechnology, herbal medicine dosage. The dosage of herbal medicine, that should be the correct English. The dosage of herbal medicine can be regulated. Sorry, can be regulated to dispense accurate and optimized pharmacological. Let me continue. Pharmacological action for better outcomes. Um, for better outcomes and reduced. Will it be side effects? Yeah, side effects. Okay. So now I've really summarized what nanotechnology will be able to do, because obviously it will be there to regulate our herbal medicine the dosage of herbal medicine, and to dispense accurate and optimized pharmacological action for better outcome and reduced side effects, which we've been facing. So when you are done with this, actually depend on what you are writing on, but this is like a good starting point. And you want to write like 100 words or something. I'm already done with 50 words. So I just need like a 50 or more words um to add to this thing. So I can just start something like this. I can say the no, we can say we highlighted. Sorry. sorry, you can start like this. In this paper, we highlighted. Now this one will be past tense because you are referring to what you've done in the upper part of the paper. So you can write something like we highlighted the importance. Will it be importance? We highlighted the significance of no, instead of significance, I can say potential impacts. Potential impact um of nanotechnology. Of nanotechnology. Then we have to write something like this, like the impact, the professional. So let me try to look for some words. Okay. We highlighted the potential impact of nanotechnology in um reducing, let me just say in reducing the um poor bioavailability. So now I just want to highlight some of the challenges we've written in our paper. So let's say we highlighted the potential impact in reducing the poor bioavailability, reduced or let me say inconsistency and lack of dosage uniformity um in Alba remedies in Alba remedies. So if successfully successfully implemented, you can write something like nanotechnology nanotechnology would no could revolutionize the the herbal therapeutic. Well, nanotechnology could revolutionize the herbal space. Could revolutionize the herbal remedy dosage problems globally. Okay, so let's look at the word count now. So that's like I'm almost 86 words. So you're actually supposed to write something less than 200. Actually, this is too low for conclusion, but you understand the game because I don't want to spend that much time. It's already like 9:51. So I want to keep this class under 10 p.m. So basically, let me explain it again. Conclusion is basically us trying to summarize everything we've done in the paper. So we are trying to push to them why we think our novelty is the best thing that will happen to that particular paper. So in this case, that's why I explained the significance or the potential impact of nanotechnology in the herbal medicine space. So after I'm done, now I try to tell them what I've done in this particular paper. So in this paper, we highlighted the potential impact of nanotechnology. So instead of listing what are the potential impact of nanotechnology, I listed the challenges facing the herbal medicine, herbal remedies, which are poor bioavailability, inconsistency, dosage inconsistency, and lack of dosage uniformity. There are some herbs they will say, oh, you have to use alcohol to use it. Some people will say, no, you have to use this to use it. Some people will say, this is how to use that particular herbs. So because it is very inconsistent, and that's why we are using nanotechnology to standardize this therapeutic approach. So we try to list everything. It's just like we doing the summary from we have the implication of herbal medicine. We listed some of the challenges of herbal medicine. Then also we push to them the implication or the potential impact of nanotechnology in herbal medicine. And then we just leave them with a good or thought-provoking sentence. If successfully implemented, nanotechnology could revolutionize the herbal medicine, herbal remedy dosage problems globally. So this is actually like a good thing. Like it is very, very sweet when you actually sit down to write it, you can see it's more like you are summarizing everything you are what do you say? You are selling your products to them by summarizing everything you've written in that particular paper, then leaving them with a thought-provoking why you think this particular paper need urgent attention. So probably you are writing for a grant, probably you are writing to be published, whatever you are writing for. But that's how to write a conclusion. But yeah, this is too small. This word count is too small for conclusion. Conclusion should be around 150, 200 word, but this is 82, 86. If I actually sit down very well, I can write above 150 words there. But you understand the pattern, and that's where we call it a day for tonight. So do anyone have any question? Maybe you don't understand the pattern, why how we are doing, how we are what we are trying to expect, or yeah, what are the outlines you are trying to achieve in conclusion? Maybe you don't understand it. Can you like if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, before we call it a day, because I would think I will engage all of us in some question, then we'll call it a day after that. So Ali, are you with us? Anisat, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay, now we are done with community research paper. So tell me, what do you think we are expecting in our abstract and introduction abstracts? What do you think we are expecting to be written in our abstracts?
The abstract is basically a summary of everything you've written. At the very least, when you write an abstract of a commentary research paper, the person should be able to read it and be able to tell maybe person be able to get an insight on what the paper is all about, basically.
Okay, so what type of abstract do we write when we are writing community research paper? Is this structured or unstructured abstracts?
Unstructured.
Unstructured. Okay, thank you so much. Sophia, are you with us? Sophia, are you with us?
Yes,
Okay,
I am.
design number. Okay, sure. Okay, good. So, tell me, let's say you are writing the introductory part of a commentary research paper. What do you think we are expecting in the introduction part of a research paper?
Can you come again, please?
Um, Anisat has explained what we are expecting in the abstracts. So now I'm asking you that what do you think? What are the important outline we need to write out when we are writing the introduction of a commentary research paper?
You need to explain the key terms in the topic.
Oh, more like a brief introduction.
Yes.
Okay.
And then explain what the paper is going to be all about. Maybe
Okay.
the gaps, and then what you're trying to derive from this current research.
Okay. More. I need more. Maybe the aims and objective. Now you've not added that. The aims and objective, how to carry out the paper, how to carry out the research,
That's the
and why.
methods.
What's it?
I said the methods.
The methods, maybe not. It's a commentary research paper, so you don't had methods
Okay.
to get. So yeah, basically, in case you can't remember or you have a question, you can watch the movie on I said movie. The class on introduction, how to write an introduction of a research paper, and or you can enter my DM to ask some question also. Okay, Zainab, are
Okay.
you with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, can you tell me what do you think we are looking forward to when we are writing out the body of a commentary research paper?
I think the body, a brief, let me introduction, overview. No, no, wait, I'm coming. I think, okay. When we're writing the body of a commentary research paper, we look at the um history.
History. Okay.
That
Okay, let me make it easy. The body, what I'm expecting is that you should have told me that the body is not boxed. It's not boxing into a specific rule.
oh,
It depends on the topic you are writing on. If you are writing about the
that's
challenges, the recommendation, those are the things you are supposed to write under the body. And let's say under the body, you are supposed to start with maybe the background knowledge, maybe like brief introduction, then continue with the prevalence. Maybe you add some statistic, then also maybe like the factors, causes, implications, consequences, all those stuff. You can write it in the body. Then you add your own novelty. So because I was the one that answered that question. So tell me what do you think we will be expecting in the concluding part of a comment research paper?
the concluding part is just like the summary of like what you've talked about in the introduction, body and everything. And then
Okay.
like your like the it's not results that you came about, like what um what's that word? Like what you
Novelty.
decided on. Okay, novelty. Okay, the novelty.
Yeah, it's more like conclusion is more like you concluding. Oh, sorry, I said you concluding. You
That's
summarizing everything you've written on, right?
it.
Then you are trying to sell your point. You are trying to say, okay, why this particular research need urgent attention. Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think that's where we call it a night for today. Thank you guys for joining. I hope we are done with our community research paper, and after that, we'll communicate how we will go about our projects, our community research projects to us. So let's just cooperate and play our parts very well. So we meet next class. For now, there is no assignment, but before next class, hopefully, after that, we'll have communicated everything we need for us. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much everyone for joining. See you next class. Bye.